Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Robuilder YouTube channel. Today we're starting a new series, kind of like an old series, but we're gonna be building swords, okay? I'm working on a brand new game, and I finally got a scripter for the project. The map's done, everything's done, except for the assets that we need, and those are swords. So, we made a whole series about building slingshots and everything like that from your guys' Discord ideas. So if you want to leave your ideas in the Discord, make sure to join it. The link's down below. And now we're gonna start building some of them, okay? Now, I've made one sword in my entire life, so I'm sure I'm gonna be horrible at it. But if you guys want to submit any swords, I'll have a Discord channel for that soon as well, where you guys can submit your swords, or like some way to submit your swords to be in the game as well. They will have to be one model and colored in Blender, okay? Like just one piece, so it's just easier for the scripter and everything like that, guys. But anyways, let's try to build a sword. Alright guys, to start everything off in the game, etc., the classic Roblox sword, okay? So let me go ahead, delete this guy, and it seems that they started with the cylinder that has about 6 sides. So that's all we're gonna do. Go ahead, spawn in the cylinder, edit mode. Oh, I always forget you can't do it after. Alright, cylinder, let's go to 6 sides right here. Perfect, and it seems that they had a loop cut in the middle and scaled that out for the base of the sword. And then we have, for the handle, it looks like they just extruded it. So that's all I'm gonna do. This is just a remake of the classic Roblox sword. And then it looks like they extruded on a little bit more, scaled it out a little bit. Maybe not extruded that much. We'd probably go down so it's one line instead of two. Something like that works for me. And then they have their whole handle and then the sword itself. So for that, I think that's good. Now I'm gonna add in another piece for the handle, or like the guard. I think it's called the guard. We'll add in a cube, bring that up, scale it up a little bit, put it right where it goes, and then we're gonna add a mirror modifier. Just like that, and make sure we enable clipping as well. There we go. Now we have a perfect mirrored little situation going on right here. So to start things out, I think I'll just go like this and drop this down a little bit. It's not going to be exactly the same as the Roblox sword because A, your boy is not trying to get, you know, messed up out here by like some weird copyright stuff. Even though I don't think it could overly happen since it's a free model. But we're going to go down just a little bit, it looks like, and then extrude. Go back up a little bit, scale in, and then we're extruding again, going up a little bit more, scaling in, and it looks like we have a bit of a turn here. So something like this probably could scale a bit more in, go up a little bit more. And this does not need to be that dramatic. This little first drop off right here definitely doesn't need to be that dramatic. Something like this, and if we add a little bit of rotation, that should help it as well. We'll go like that. And then I'm going to grab this, maybe bring it in a little bit, up a little bit, grab this guy because that also should go up. So something like this, I guess. Now I want to grab these sides. Maybe I should just grab these vertices and I'm going to scale those. All right, so I'm thinking something kind of like this. It's not perfect by any means, but it is all right. I think I'm going to add a few more modifiers here. We're definitely going to want a bevel modifier like so, just to kind of smooth everything out. I'm going for a real nice smooth style here. For limit method, we're going to go to angle, and we're going to bump our segments up to 3. Something like this looks good to me. Now I'm going to add another modifier, subdivision surface. There we go. It kind of just smooths everything out, possibly a little too, so we might not use it. Yeah, let's not use that one. And then we're just going to shade smooth everything, turn on auto smooth, and something like that works decently, at least for me, for this first sword anyways. Up next, we actually have to build the blade of the sword, and this is bothering me. Let me like bevel this, because like that was not a clean, you know, transition there, and it was just bothering me a little bit. This here bothers me a little too, but it's not the biggest deal, so I'm not overly going to worry about it. Shift A, drag in a cube, and let's do the dang thing. It's gonna be pretty simple of a sword blade. I'm gonna go like kind of big, and then on the x-axis, scale it in, drag it up a little bit. This is gonna be a heavy blade, I'll tell you. Now we're just gonna grab this top face, kind of drag it up a little bit more, something like that. And then we're gonna extrude to something like this. That's a pretty long sword. Trust me, I know. It's all good. I think I wanna grab the lines right here. We might even add another loop cut here. And we'll do S and Y just to kind of give a little extra shape to it. So something like that for the base shape of the sword. And now I want to do a loop cut like so. And do Alt S to scale along normals, something like that. I know it's looking a little chunky right now, but we got this. All right, that helps it out a little bit. Now it's still not like a sword and all pointy and stuff, so we're gonna add a loop cut here and then grab this top line right up here, probably just the vertice actually on the top, this guy like that. We can add a little, and I'm gonna grab the 2 outer vertices as well to give it something like this, maybe a little more. I think that's looking all right for like a sword base. Now we could use this and extrude it a little bit on the x-axis or scale on the x-axis, something like this to give a little more like depth, I guess, to the blade. I'm horrible at making swords if you can't tell. Like, I'm just not the greatest at it, but I think I'll learn a lot through this series. You know what, guys? I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm calling it at that one. This sword looks pretty good. I am gonna texture it real quick just to kind of give like that normal Roblox sword aesthetic a little bit. But for the first sword in the game, it's not supposed to look that cool. Of course, we're gonna get progressively cooler and cooler because, you know, you'll be able to... I can't explain too much of the game. So, yeah, the swords are going to get progressively cooler. That's all I can really say. I don't want anyone to steal the idea here. So, let me go ahead and run a texture on this real quick. UV editing, open, get a little color palette right here. And now for the sword. Guys, I think I might run a gradient on the actual, like, blades themselves. So, we're going to project from view just like this. And S to scale. And I think I want to use like this one. Maybe, yeah, this one right here. Put it as close to the top as I can because I don't want it to get too dark. And I think something like that will look awesome. So let's go to our little texture tab right here. Image texture and right there. Now if we go over here into our material preview, we'll see the cool little gradient on the sword. Now we do have sort of a blue handle. And up here is, so I have everything right here. I'm going to press AS and 0 just to get those down to where they need to be. And it's sort of like a goldy color. So I'm going to go something like this. I think that'll work well enough for us anyways. And then we're going to assign a texture to it right here. Image texture and then click on our 256. Alright guys, so for the first sword in the game, it is done. It's a very basic sword. I'm excited to see where this series takes us. First off, because I'll get better at making swords. And secondly, because you guys will also be able to have your swords in the game if that's something you would like to do. If you do want to have your sword in the game, make sure to send me the Blender file as well so I can texture it with the same color palette I'm using for everything else. And just so I can try to adjust it if need be. I know a lot of you guys are a lot more talented than I am, so it might not need any adjusting, but just in case, send the Blender files. I would appreciate it highly. That's going to wrap up episode 1 of making swords. The more inspiration and ideas I get, we'll be doing more than one sword per episode, but this is just to start out the whole series. If you enjoyed and you want to see more content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.